What's going on, guys? JSGC here, and we are here for another daily Manchester City transfer update. Remember, I'm rolling out daily Manchester City transfer updates here on YouTube for you guys to stay up to date every single day with all the latest Manchester City transfer content. So if you haven't already, do subscribe to my channel. It is free to subscribe. Also, don't forget social media links. They're in the description if you want to go and follow me on my Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up. 300 likes is the aim, and do let me know your thoughts as well in the comments below. So we're going to crack on with this video. We've got no contract news to speak about, so we are going to dive straight in with the outs. Now, we've got the very latest on Kayky, and the Daily Mail have said that Sparta Rotterdam over in the Netherlands are interested in taking Kayky from Manchester City. It is believed that Sparta Rotterdam are interested in both a loan and a permanent transfer. Manchester City, they don't see Kayky as being ready for the first team, so they would be interested in potentially loaning him out. However, Man City also aren't ruling out a permanent sale here as well. It is thought that if Man City are looking more towards a loan deal rather than a permanent transfer, Manchester City would prefer for Kayky to be spending the season out on loan in Europe. Remember, Kayky is currently at the City Football Academy recovering from a very serious ACL injury. It is believed that his recovery time is nearly up, and he's expected to be back to full fitness by the middle of September. Now, moving on, we've got the very latest on Yan Couto, and Fabrizio Romano has given us an update on him and said that Borussia Dortmund have now made contact with Manchester City when it comes to signing Yan Couto. They said that they will not be paying Manchester City's £40 million asking price. However, Dortmund are confident that they could get him for around 20 to 25 million euros. So we're looking at around £20 million, which is half of Man City's asking price. You may be wondering at home, why on earth are Man City willing to maybe accept half of his asking price for Yan Couto, a high-quality young player? Well, Manchester City, I imagine, are probably going to include a very high sell-on fee, probably at 30%, maybe even more. And I imagine that Man City will want to put on a buyback clause as well. So when you want to put sell-on fees and buyback clauses on transfers, normally it means you're accepting a little bit less than your value. So Cole Palmer's a great example. We didn't put a sell-on fee or a buyback clause on him, so we ended up getting £40 million. Otherwise, if we did put a buyback clause and a sell-on fee on that transfer, we'd have probably accepted a little bit less than £40 million. Did that turn out to be a value for money? Well, turns out 12 months later, probably not. Yan Couto could be going down the same avenue, you never know, which is why I always think it's worthwhile having sell-on fees and cheaper buyback clauses. Anyway, moving on, we've got the latest on Rico Lewis, and Jack Gaughan's given an update on him and said that Rico Lewis isn't interested in a loan move away from Manchester City this summer, despite lots of interest coming in from European clubs. It's thought that Rico Lewis does want to stay at Manchester City, wants to fight for his place in the first team squad. He has done a little interview and he has said that he'd like to adapt his playing style a little bit more. So he's seen as a defender, he's seen as a right back, but he said he'd like to play in midfield, which is something that Man City have experimented a little bit in the past with Rico Lewis, and they could be looking to do so ahead of the upcoming season as well. He said ideally he'd like to be playing as a number 8 in Manchester City's midfield because he likes scoring and assisting goals. Now, moving on, we've had a huge development on Kevin De Bruyne. Now, Daily Mail said that Ittihad had personal terms agreed with Kevin De Bruyne yesterday. They said no development has really come in since then, in particular from sources in Saudi Arabia, who were going on to say that Kevin De Bruyne wants to move to Saudi Arabia. They believe that they have got personal terms agreed with him, and they just need to try and negotiate a deal with Manchester City. So I just left a quick note and said that things will start to become a little bit clearer once Kevin De Bruyne returns from his holiday and returns back to training with Manchester City, which isn't expected to happen until the beginning of August. And if Kevin De Bruyne does end up leaving Man City in this window, I imagine that Man City will be looking towards midfield replacements. Now, in an ideal world, replacing someone as good as Kevin De Bruyne and has provided a great service over a numerous amount of years with Manchester City, it's probably going to take at least 12 months to find a suitable replacement. So there are players out there in the short term that Man City could have a look to try and sign to try try and potentially replace Kevin De Bruyne. I think probably the most available player that we've got for an affordable price is probably Dani Olmo, which is probably why some rumours have been circulating around, and I've seen in the last day or so that Eberechi Eze's name's once more being chucked out there. But I'm pretty confident that Kevin De Bruyne is going to remain a Manchester City player past this summer. Now, Fabrizio Romano has said that the reports coming in from the Daily Mail aren't true, as per his sources coming in from Saudi Arabia, and says that terms haven't been agreed between Kevin De Bruyne and Al Ittihad. He says that right now they're focusing on signing Moussa Diaby rather than Kevin De Bruyne, and once that's been sorted, Al Ittihad are going to be targeting a new goalkeeper and want to try and step up their chase to try and sign Ederson, which of course I gave an update on from yesterday. And the MEN have said that they don't expect Al Ittihad to make a move for Kevin De Bruyne this summer, and they expect him to stay this summer, and he is expected to return back to training with Manchester City at the beginning of August, on August 5th. Now, a source in Belgium called Nieuwsblad Sport have said that Kevin De Bruyne is expected to stay at Manchester City this summer. They say it's very unlikely, it's got a very small chance of happening, but it's much more likely that he won't sign a new contract at Manchester City and he will leave next summer when his contract expires. And it is believed that he is in discussions with Saudi Arabian teams right now to try and thrash out a deal to see where he wants to potentially go once his time at Manchester City is up. It is believed that he's angling towards a 2-year contract, potentially worth as much as 150 million euros for the 2 years in Saudi Arabia, a whopping amount of money that appeals to a lot of people and a lot of football players. And that moves us very nicely onto an update on Ederson, because the MEN have gone on to say that Al Ittihad have now made contact with Manchester City over Ederson, and it is thought that Manchester City have told Al Ittihad that they've rejected an offer already from Al Nassr in the Saudi Pro League for £25 million, and Man City want more than £50 million. Now, Jack Gaughan has said that Al Ittihad are ready to try and test Manchester City's resolve when it comes to Ederson, with City wanting more than £50 million. And if it was me, I'd be saying £50 million. If you don't pay £50 million, quite simple, you're not having Ederson. Simple as that. Unless you come in with a bid of £50 million, the answer is always and will be no. Now, Fabrizio Romano has said that Ederson has told Al Ittihad that he's happy with their terms and he's happy to move there. So Al Ittihad now just need to get over that huge stumbling block, that big hurdle, which is agreeing a fee with Manchester City. They don't want to pay £50 million. They don't value him at £50 million. And whilst that's the case, more than likely the transfer will not be happening. So I'm still pretty confident that Ederson will remain a Manchester City player unless Al Ittihad stump up the cash and pay £50 million. Now, moving on to the ins, we've got the latest on Dani Olmo, and Fabrizio Romano has said that RB Leipzig wants €60 million for Olmo, even after his release clause has expired for this summer. Now, there's plenty of interest coming in from Spain. Barcelona are interested. They can't afford Joao Cancelo, so they can't afford €60 million. But there is interest coming in from Germany with Bayern Munich. And Fabrizio Romano, interestingly, does say that there are Premier League clubs interested, and he keeps mentioning Manchester City's name, saying no contact has been made from Manchester City as of yet. I don't think it's any secret that Man City would like Dani Olmo, but they've not got any room in the squad. Whilst Alvarez, Núñez, Kovacic, De Bruyne are all at Manchester City, we will not be making a move for Dani Olmo, is the stance right now. Now, moving on, I did mention Eberechi Eze, so we've got a quick update on him, and Darren Lewis, and confirmed by Ed Aarons as well, are saying that Manchester City are interested in signing Eberechi Eze from Crystal Palace this summer. He is an attacker, so unless an attacker is sold by Man City, I can't see us making a move for Eze. So we'll see. Again, got a similar price tag to Dani Olmo, looking at around £60 to £65 million. So we'll see if Man City do want to make a move. We were being linked last summer with him as well. Now, moving on, new name for this window. Interesting, Gianluigi Donnarumma over at Paris Saint-Germain. Now, Ben Jacobs has said that whilst Donnarumma is happy in Paris, he does dream of playing in the Premier League, and with Ederson potentially leaving Manchester City, City would need a replacement, and Ben Jacobs goes on to say that Donnarumma could be the player that Man City choose to target, and apparently City have approached Donnarumma's camp about a transfer. Now, he has already interestingly held talks with Paris Saint-Germain over extending his contract with them, and that is at an early stage, so this could well just be agent talk and trying to get talks to progress with PSG to keep him in Paris as well, considering he is happy there. But Man City also genuinely could be interested in, considering we need a keeper if Ederson does leave, would make sense. So I'll keep my eyes and ears open for that. Now moving on to the final transfer. Final note, despite rumours coming in of the swap deal involving Julian Alvarez and Jooa Felix over at Atletico Madrid, Sports Witness have confirmed, and this is my understanding as well, that Manchester City, as of right now, are not interested in signing Joao Felix for this summer. So there we go. That has been today's transfer update. If you did enjoy this video, do leave a thumbs up. 300 likes is the aim. Also, don't forget as well to let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Do subscribe if you're new around here. Press that red button, press the bell, and put your push notifications on. Social media links, they're in the description if you want to go and follow me on my Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorship for any videos or any general business inquiries. And I'll see you religiously tomorrow for the next daily Manchester City transfer update. So I've been JSGC. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope everyone is safe and well. Peace. Ciao for now.